Well, joining us now live from Standard Bank's trading floor is Nomvuyo Guma. She's Macroeconomic Strategist at Standard Bank. And Nomvuyo, thanks so much for joining us today. Some strength coming through on the local unit today. Of course, we've seen optimism filter through and risk appetite back in play on a global extent. So that having some bearing. What are you making of the kind of activity we've seen so far on the local unit front?
Hi Alicia, yes, you're right. I mean, the rand took a bit of a pummeling last week, and it was a combination once again of both domestic and international events. Internationally being the contagion from Cyprus really put investors in a very risk-off mood, and I think that sentiment kind of swept across and really hammered particularly emerging market currencies. And as usual, the rand fell the hardest. But also the rand was impacted by ongoing domestic concerns. So that would be continuing labour unrest, and in particular the fact that this labour unrest centered at Exaro, and their coal mines are one of the major suppliers of coal to Seckam, which, as we know, is battling very low and precarious reserve capacity at the moment. So all of those concerns, I think, kind of combining and really putting the rand on the back foot for last week. We saw it hit a low of about 9.33 rand. But as you've mentioned, it's come back quite strongly this morning. I think there is renewed optimism over Cyprus. It seems that they were able to secure a bailout package, and for now it does seem that some optimism has returned as regards to that scenario. So that is propping up the rand for the moment. However, for the rest of the week, there's still some continuing risks. The domestic situation remains as dangerous as it was last week. And then, of course, we have some data that could also potentially trip up the currency. So for now, certainly does seem to be firming, but there's still some event risks ahead for the currency.
I highlighted a little earlier that we're anticipating quite a bit of economic data this week, Nomvuyo. Trade numbers, money supply numbers, credit data and PPI figures as well. Just how closely are you watching this data, given the fact that, as you highlight, we've got a lot of focus, yes, on the global arena and international news headlines that are doing the rounds, but just as much focus on what's at play within our borders?
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly from a currency point of view, the trade balance numbers have been, very important for some time, insofar as they feed into monetary policy decisions. And so I don't think that this number is going to be any exception. We've penciled in a deficit of about 10 billion rand. This would be for the month of February, and that's less than half of the 24 billion rand that we saw in January. And really, our reasoning is based on the fact that one traditionally sees a bit of a pickup in exports in February that tend to collapse in January, given seasonal slowdown. So the pickup in exports that we're anticipating for February should somewhat help some compression in the trade balance. And I think as far as the currency is concerned, that is going to be one of the preeminent figures to watch. As you know, the Reserve Bank is very concerned about the size of the current account deficit, and given that the trade balance is such a huge component of the current account, I think that the trade numbers are definitely going to be something to watch probably for the entire year.
How closely are you watching conversations unfold at the BRICS summit currently underway in Durban, Nomvuyo?
Oh, well, of course, it's also one of the things that we're looking at this year. Of course, a summit of global leaders and a grouping such as BRICS is always going to be headline-making news. And particularly, it seems that they're quite bent on making a go of this development bank that's going to stand as more as of a developing World Bank. It seems as almost a rival or contrast to the World Bank and IMF. And we know that developing countries have had their issues of complaining of a lack of representation at these banks. So I think it'll be very interesting to see what moves are made on this front, as well as what possible trade or other political agreements come out of the summit.